right, everyone. So happy Friday. It's really nice to have you. I'm so glad you're here. For some of you, it is Saturday. So hope you are all enjoying your weekend so far. I'm Jennifer Tarle from Tarle Speech and Language. Most of you know me, but those who don't, just let me tell you a little bit about my services. Tarle Speech and Language English provides pronunciation training in terms of consonants and vowel sounds, word stress, and intonation. We have products on sounds available on Google Play and also on the iTunes store on iBooks. You can get all of these videos if you're interested right to your phone through Stitcher, through iTunes podcasts, and through FeedBurner. So if you want to take these lessons on the go, that's great. Also, my books that are iBooks available from Apple, you can use those on your iPad, your iPhone, and your Mac. I also have Google Play books, which are great because you can use those on anything that you have as long as you have a browser to open. All of the books have audio files and practice lists, and on the Mac side, those books all have videos. So as soon as we get some larger file sizes on other platforms, I will be uploading my books there. You can find me also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, and you can visit me at tarlespeech.com. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so we are talking tonight about the teens and tens pronunciation. So when we have words that are the teens, which would be 13, 14, 15, 16, and the tens, so I was just talking about the teens, or the tens, 30, 40, 50, 60, there's a certain pattern that you can use and that you can apply to be better understood. Some of it has to do with sounds, and one of the other tricks that we're going to be working on tonight is word stress and how to make those words sound different. So let's start with the tens. So a 10 would be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. All right, let's look at some tips here. The tens numbers are spelled with the ending TY. As most of you know, if you've been watching my videos, spelling is just a guide. It is not a recipe for pronunciation in English. So we are going to pronounce that TY as D. So let me show you what that looks like. So to say the D ending, you're going to smile, D, and make sure that vowel is nice and long. The mistakes that I hear are that people will say T, or they will make that E too short and say T or D. And you want to make it nice and long, D and T. The stress for this set of numbers is going to be on syllable 1. So what does that mean? A stressed syllable means that that syllable or beat in the word is longer, louder, and higher than the other syllables. So really focus on the vowel line. I would say overwhelmingly, that's the mistake that most of my students make, is that they make the stressed vowels too short. So make that vowel nice and long. Okay, so I'm going to say all of these numbers for you, stressing syllable 1 and making sure I say D for syllable 2, making that vowel nice and long. And I'm going to say them, and then I'm going to show you the handout, and then I'm going to say them again so you can watch my face, so you can see both, okay? So let me just go ahead and say these words. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, So now I'm going to show you the handout so that you can follow along if you really want to know that spelling. Okay, so I wrote them two ways for you here. I wrote it as the number 30, and then I spelled it out for you. And then I wrote it phonetically for you so that it would be a little bit easier for you to read. I try to write it this way and stay away from IPA because people really rely on that and then they're not paying attention to what I'm saying. So that's my little trick to get you to pay a little bit more attention. So, all right, let's try word number 1. I'm going to say it and then you repeat after me. Remember, stress syllable 1 and then end it with D with a nice long E. Okay. 30, 30. 40, 40. 50, 50. 60, 60. 70, 70. So on that one, you'll notice I stressed the first syllable on the 7, 70. So sev gets the most stress. N gets a little bit of stress. And then we have D, 70, 70. 80, 80. 90, 90. Okay, I'm going to say them again one time through, and then you take a turn saying all of them. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, awesome. How did you do? Did you remember to stress syllable 1? And did you remember to say D at the end? Okay, I'm going to show you my face one more time, and then we'll do the exceptions. Okay, you ready? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead back and look at the exceptions here. And I see some questions. I will definitely get to those at the end. So, okay, so far so good. All right, so let's look at the exceptions down here at the bottom. Come all the way down to the bottom. So for the number 20, I say 20, 20, 20. I don't say a T at all when I say that. 20, 30, 40. So no T, no D in there. I just say an N. 20. You will also hear people say 20, 20, 20. So again, you have two options, 20 or 20. Okay, so let me try those both. 20, 20. Okay, I say 50, but I do hear people say 50 with the T sound. And the reason is that this sound is voiceless. So we're going to follow that voiceless sound with the voiceless sound with the T. So let's try the exceptions. 20, 50. Okay. Personally, I think if people struggle to understand you, I would stay away from this exception of 50 because sometimes people will hear 15. So again, if people struggle to understand you with numbers, I would stick with the straight 50 because it's a little bit stronger and easier to hear the difference. Okay, so let's try all of these numbers. I'm going to start with 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Yes, so 70, 80, and 90 all have the D sound. Okay, last time for these. Whoops, trying to stop. Oh, I think can you all hear me? I think I just muted myself. Am I back up? Can you hear me? Okay, let's see here. I don't want to keep talking if you can't hear me. I'm watching on my iPad and I can see myself. Yes, okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so let's move on to the teens and you will see why I'm telling you to avoid that T with the 50. Okay, so we have the teen numbers. Those are numbers like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So those are the teens. When we have a teen in the word. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the handout here. Okay, so the teen numbers are spelled with the ending teen. So that's easy enough. And we are going to pronounce it as teen with a nice long E. So for those of you who have recently been asking about spelling rules, typically when we see two vowels together, what we are going to do, and I just noticed my mistake, whoops, is we are going to pronounce that as the long sound. So the first vowel will do the talking, which is say the letter name. And the second vowel will be silent. So in this case, we have two E's. We're going to make that first E nice and long and then keep the second one silent. Okay? All right. The stress most of the time is on syllable 2, the teen. Okay? Most of the time when you're giving numbers and when people are misunderstanding you, it's typically when you're giving numbers in a list. So when you are doing that, you are going to stress syllable 2, the teen. There is an exception. The number portion of the teen may be stressed when it is before a noun. And I'll give you an example for that. But let's just focus right now on learning the stressing syllable number 2 and the teen. Okay, so let me show you my face. Hello again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pronounce these and stress syllable 2. And again, we're going to do that because in the tens words, we stress syllable 1 and we made that word longer, the vowel longer, higher in pitch, and a little bit louder. Now we're going to stress syllable 2. We're going to make that louder, a longer vowel, and higher in pitch. And that way, people will understand you better because there's a contrast between those two words. Okay, so we're going to do the teens now. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so that's how we're going to practice those the first time through. So let me go ahead and show you that again. Okay, so here we are down here for 13. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, and let me just show you that one more time. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, how did you do? Did everybody get that? Okay, let's take a quick break for questions here before we finish up here. Okay, let me go back to make sure I didn't miss anything. I do have a website. It's not a paid website. I do make a little bit of money here on YouTube from views. It's not a lot, but that's how I typically I get money back for posting videos. And I also have a website where I sell my products. If you weren't here at the beginning of class, I have books on Google Play and on available via iBooks, which you can use on your Mac or your iPhone or your iPad. I do teach private lessons. Again, you can go to my website, tarlespeech.com, or you can email me at Jennifer@Tarle, T-A-R-L-E, speech, S-P-E-E-C-H, that's all one word, .com. You can also contact me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. So I think that is it. Any questions about the numbers themselves? Okay, doesn't seem like it. Okay, so let's get into this exception rule that I was just talking about, that when we have the teens, you can pronounce it 2 different ways. And then when we wrap up, we'll do both sets of numbers at the same time so you can hear the contrast. Okay, so let me show you this page for the exception. I don't know if you can hear that. My parents are in town and my daughter is downstairs and they are having so much fun right now. Okay. So I'm sorry if you get some background noise, but it's joyful. All right. So here are this is the typical way we are going to stress these words. We are going to stress the teen here, which we just did. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, perfect. Now, there's a subtle difference here. If the we're going to stress syllable 2 on this number before a noun. Okay, so we're going to stress syllable 2 on this is very confusing the way I wrote this, on the teens when it comes before a noun. So we're going to say 13 candles, 14 pumpkins, 15 candy bars. So I might say, can I have 13? And then follow up with say, I have 13 candles. Can I buy 14? She has 14 pumpkins. And then last, give me 15. And then can I have 15 candy bars? So again, it's very subtle. You would not be incorrect to say, I need 13 candles. That's fine if people struggle to understand you. You know that I'm all about clarity. So go for clarity so that people understand you. Okay, so that's the most important part, is just make sure people understand you. And I think to go for clarity, it's to stress syllable number 1 when you are talking about the tens, and stress syllable number 2 when you're talking about the teens. Okay, so I'm going to start with number 1, and we are just going to go ahead and count up to 10, just so you get those numbers in if you're curious. Then we'll do the teens, and then we'll do the tens. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 11 and 12 do not follow the teen rule. And then we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then we have our tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Now I'm going to contrast the two. So we have 13, 30, 14, 40, 15, 50, 16, 60, 17, 70, 18, 80, 19, 90. So you can hear just when you have both of those sets of numbers together, it's so much clearer and distinct when you stress syllable 1 versus syllable 2, depending on which word you are using. And then also when you use that D for your tens, the 30, 40, that really helps because then you're no longer using to T. You're using teen with the T and then D with that D, that voiced D sound. Okay. All right. So does anybody else have any questions? How to say 100th? Great one. Okay. So 100, 100. And then when you add the TH, 100th, 100th. So the best way I could describe that is 100, kind of stress that 100, 100. But then when I add that TH, I kind of squish my syllables together and make it a little faster, 100th. And I add that little TH on the end, 100th. And to do that, I just stick my teeth, I stick my tongue out of my mouth a little bit and I don't touch my teeth. And then that way the air can keep moving out of my mouth. Okay, one more time, 100th. Okay. All right, anybody else? Okay, and thank you all for your kind comments. You are so sweet. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this, please give me a like, share it with your friends, post it on your social media, check out my website, check out Google Play, and check out all of my Apple products. And all of the links are below the video. And I really appreciate it. I'm at 30,000 subscribers right now, which isn't a lot in the YouTube world, but it's a lot for me. And so I really appreciate all your support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a fantastic weekend. Oop, I got one more question. How to say 13 and 30. Forgot those. 13, 30. 13, 30. Okay? You are welcome. All right. Wait just a couple more seconds here to make sure no one has any more questions. Okay. Thanks so much. I'm signing off. Have a great weekend, everyone. And I will see you next month, a little bit later on the 7th, because I have family in town the first weekend. Actually, that is the first weekend, I think, the 7th. It's just a little later for a first Friday. So I'll see you next month and every Friday with a new free video lesson. So thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.